I've never had a thought of, before all this happened, never had a thought of raising young kids at 50 plus years old. That never had crossed my mind.
Barry and Beverly Abernathy had already raised 2 daughters into their teen years when their older daughter Chastity came home from work at a daycare center, excited about 2 foster children.
She came in one day talking about these children, and she said, "Daddy, the little boy," she said, "you're just not going to believe it." She said, "He's got a hand exactly like your hand." And she said, "It's exactly like yours."
Barry was born missing most of his fingers on his left hand. Still, he's a 2-time Grammy-nominated banjo player and singer with the group Appalachian Roadshow. Chastity knew the kids were struggling and pleaded with her parents to help.
I called my mom first, and I sent her a picture of Tyler, and she said, "Chastity, you're crazy." Because, I had the tendency to call her about kids before, but I was like, "Mama, this time's different. You gotta come meet them at least." And she just let it go. And I told my daddy, and he said, "You are crazy."
And I said, "Well, honey, there's no way. We're not fosters. It takes, months of classes, and you gotta get educated on how to handle foster kids, and we're not even prepared."
The siblings, Tyler and Zoe, had already been through 8 different foster homes in the last 2 years. Beverly was reluctant to get emotionally involved.
I work in the court system, and I see these kind of things happen, like kids placed in foster homes and everything, and I was like, I will never get that attached. I tried to stay away from it, keep it separate from our life.
I was really crying because I felt so strongly about it, because I'd met them, and I knew if they had met them, that they'd feel the same feeling I did. It was just a drawing towards them, both of them.
A few weeks later, Barry was leaving town for a concert. Before driving off, he felt prompted to stop by the daycare center to meet the kids.
The little boy Tyler was the first one I seen. He was in a class, and kids were out playing. He was sitting at a little bench, table-like thing with one of his friends, and my daughter Chastity had shown him me playing the Dance video of Appalachian Roadshow, where I was playing the banjo with no fingers. Well, he had never known a dad, hadn't had a dad, and he had never seen anybody with a hand like his. So he immediately, to my dismay, he immediately thought I was his dad. So he looks up, and his eyes like that, and he reaches over and he gets a little buddy and pats him on top of the head, and he said, "Hey, look, that's my dad." And he jumps up out of his chair, and he starts running to me, and he just runs, and I was standing there, and he just jumps up and grabs a hold of me. So I pulled him on up, and he grabbed me, and he grabbed my face, and he looked back like this, and he said, "Are you my dad?" And I said, I just kind of froze, I didn't know what to say. And he said, "You my dad." And he reached up, he kissed me on the cheek, and he patted me, and it was touching. It was very, very touching.
Barry then found out Beverly had also felt drawn to the kids.
He called me, and he's like, I went and saw the kids, and I said, "Well, I did too." And he's like, "What do you think?" And I said, "I really don't know what to think."
She said, "Do you think we're going to need to do something?" I said, "Well, what can we do? We're not foster parents. There's nothing we can do."
Things weren't working out with the current foster family, so the Abernathys arranged to take the kids over Father's Day weekend. After a great time together, they got word Zoe and Tyler would soon be sent to an orphanage.
The state had called and said, "We're going to come get them." So immediately everybody went to jumping and saying, "Hey, can y'all keep these kids a little while while we're working something out?" And we were like, "Yeah, we will." And it's amazing how something like that could happen, and in a couple of days it come to fruition, and nobody knew but God. Nobody did.
The Abernathys went through the steps to become foster parents. Then they made a big decision. 10 months after that Father's Day weekend visit, through a Zoom court date, Tyler and Zoe were adopted and officially became part of the Abernathy family.
Yeah, baby!
Oh, it was a blast. Yeah, it was and I think the kids, they recognized it. I don't know that they knew what Tyler says dachshund. He didn't know what dachshund was, but he knew that he was Abernathy.
I can't remember my life before them. There's no other way to describe it other than they belong to us.
Well, I'm thankful that God brought them into our lives, because I don't know, it's just, that they're here for a reason. When we adopted them, that morning, you could just feel it, the Lord was with us, and you just knew it was right.
The correlation between us and these children and God and all of his children, I've thought of that a lot. We're all adopted in the family, and not just adopted, but we're made partakers. We're partakers of life through him.
Tyler all the time says, "Thank you, Mommy. I appreciate you." He thanks us for the house, everything. And it's just like to see the world through their eyes, the simple life. That's what it means. Nothing else matters.
Father's Day will take on a different meaning. The fact that we took these children in on Father's Day, the family came together as a whole on Father's Day last year, and it'll always be special to me. Where it might not have been as special before, just to know that the way God dealt with us and what He gave us and what He required of us, all that coming together on Father's Day, it'll be a special day from now on, as long as I live, for sure.